there. So I didn't really know how to respond to that this morning, because you never know whether you're being conned or it's fake. So Erik ten Hag did an interview and basically said that the players, including Ronaldo, the players, he didn't say just Ronaldo, he said the players shouldn't have left early, it's disrespectful, and they didn't have my permission. So that has come from the manager of Manchester United. Now my initial reaction to that was, and I tweeted it this morning, is that I'm stunned by that, absolutely stunned by that, because it completely contradicts the message that came out of the club on Monday and on Sunday, and we're now on Wednesday, and I'm like, why are we talking about players leaving a pre-season game on Wednesday when we've got a brand new start to the season on Sunday? Monday, Tuesday, those same players that left have been training happily with the manager. So why are we stirring it up? But I don't know when that interview was done. So, your mind sort of works through things like that. What I would say, because I've not had chance to respond to anything yet, I would say this. It is unacceptable that those players left without the manager's permission. It is unacceptable. It is disrespectful. And there's nowhere to hide on that. Of course it is. If the manager is unhappy about it and they shouldn't have done it, then they shouldn't have done it. What we don't know is, why did they all... I don't know why they all left. And it was more than one player. And I don't know why they all did it. And maybe they thought it was okay. And there's all sorts of rumours about it. But what I would say is, in no way have I lied, or Sky Sports lied, or anybody else lied. Because in the media, stories evolve. And on Sunday, there was people in the media press conference area, and players had left, and the story came out, and the story basically was that the players had been given permission to go because to beat the traffic. And then obviously it came out further from that the club had, I think Sky Sports said it on Monday, that the club had no issue with it. Now obviously Erik ten Hag did have an issue with it. So I don't know why on Sunday and Monday it was sort of being, well, no, there's no issue with it. And then Ten Hag has said there is an issue with it. Maybe the club wanted to keep it quiet because ultimately it should be kept in-house. Maybe Ten Hag bollocks the players. I don't know. But, having had time to think about it, this is the manager. This is Erik ten Hag. And if he wants to publicly say that those players acted wrong, then, he's right to do that. I'll be honest, when I thought about it on Sunday, there was two options to go down, really. There was the option of going, it's absolutely disgraceful, and going in on the player without full knowledge, or there was the option that I went with initially, which is maybe he was going for an ice bath or something like that, and I got ridiculed for it. But actually, is that not the responsible thing to do? I mean, I just think you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You are, you completely. There is no right thing. If I'd have gone, that's a bloody disgrace, Ronaldo's done that, not seen Delo walking out with him, I've loved Ronaldo, but that's bloody shitting on your club and all that. And then, 2 hours later, I hear that, well, actually, they had permission to go. I've just caused a shitstorm for nothing. Careful with your platform. A lot of people listen to you. Well, what was I not being careful on Sunday by saying it's a storm in a teacup? They were allowed to go. The club aren't bothered about it. It would have been a lot more, I believe, controversial and shit-stirring and inflammatory to say he's left without permission, it's an absolute disgrace, he's the only one who's gone, which wouldn't have been accurate either. So we're all geniuses in hindsight. I've been doing this for 7 years. Sometimes you act on opinion, sometimes you act on information, sometimes people tell you, but it's always about opinion. And I'm not going to apologise for any stance I've taken, because I know exactly what happened on Sunday and on Monday, and the story only changed today when Erik ten Hag came out and said that he didn't give them permission. I don't know why the club said it was fine. I don't know why all the players left, but the reality is Erik ten Hag has come out today and said that they didn't have permission and it's been dealt with. That's the end of the story. I haven't got a problem. I mean, somebody actually said to me today, stop turning fans against the manager. And I'm like, I wanted this manager. I bloody screamed and shouted for this manager. I'm 100% behind this manager. So I don't know where all that comes from. But I think the most important thing is there's a very interesting comment that's come out from Erik ten Hag about Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think that, let's call it what it is. What really is going on here is you've got a section of fans who can't stand Cristiano Ronaldo, and you've got a section of fans who like Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's basically just a free-for-all. And the ones that don't like him want to think the worst of him on everything, and the ones that do like him want to think positive of him. I don't really care, because it's about opinion. I'll tell you a little story before we get into the show tonight. I will always defend Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't care what people say. I will always defend Cristiano Ronaldo. As a footballer, I will always defend him because I think he's earned that right for me as a Manchester United legend. It's very different to Marcus Rashford or Bruno Fernandes or Luke Shaw. They've not earned the right to be a United legend. And I think when you earn the right to be a legend, like a Roy Keane, then, you know, you are forgiven for things that maybe other people aren't forgiven for because you put a shift in and beyond in the past. When I see people out on the streets over the last sort of year, you know, I'll be walking through Solihull and you'll see the students walking through, and if they recognise you know what they shout at me? Not knobhead, not Pratt, Sue! Like, he's one of my favourite players ever. Sorry for being defensive of that. But to me, those sort of things are important. Loyalty, respect, you know, these things are important to me. And I'm very loyal to Cristiano Ronaldo, and I very respect Ronaldo for what he's done for this team. Somebody wants to say that he stormed out of the ground on his own. I'm not. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's earned it. So you might not like that, but if you don't like that, then you don't like me. And if you don't like me, don't watch the show. Or I don't really care, because ultimately, I've shown it time and time again that I am quite loyal and I am quite respectful to those types of players that have given their everything for this club and actually provided me with the moments that I've not had for 10 years. The Roy Keanes of this world, the David Beckhams, the Eric Cantonars, the Cristiano Ronaldos. These players, I don't want to turn my back on those players. I think it's very sad what's happening. I think I'll completely own up to the fact that he's trying to leave the club. I believe the club are quite open to letting him go as well. I said it this morning. I think the club would let him go. How they resolve it, I don't know. I think it's very, very sad. But if anything, I think the one consistent thing is, I think Ten Hag really wants to keep him. I really, really do. I think Ten Hag is desperate to keep him. And I think Ten Hag is stubborn enough to try and force him to stay. I hope that happens. But, you know, ultimately, it's just, you know, ultimately, it doesn't even matter. I've probably just wasted 5 minutes of this show. It doesn't even matter. Some players left early. The manager didn't like it. He's told them about it. They're back training, working towards the game on Sunday. It's really quite irrelevant. What's relevant is, yet again, our fans, or certain fans, and our club have managed to distract us from the fact that where's our midfield? Where's our backup attackers? Are we ready for this season? And that's what we should be talking about. Like, what? We're not ready for the start of this season at all. And we're arguing about a player that we desperately need to stay, that some of our fans want to get rid of to make us even less prepared for the start of the season. And that's what really matters. Anyway, you're incorrect, Mark. It's not about liking or hating Ronaldo. It's about a player that is loved but has disrespected the club. Well, I disagree with you there, Spira. Sorry, we're going to go round in circles. Why has he disrespected the club any less than the other players that left? That's not in dispute. Eric Ten Hag said it himself. Why has he disrespected the club? Because he's asked for a transfer request. Well, he's not the first person to do that and stay at the club. Roy Keane did it. And every other player that walked out disrespected the club as well. So look, you're not going to persuade me to think differently. But if you think that, that's absolutely fine. And actually, you've proven the point. Because what you're saying is, it's not about who likes Ronaldo and who doesn't like Ronaldo. Well, clearly it is. I like Ronaldo, and I don't think there's a major issue there because other players left with him. You don't like him, and you're saying he disrespected the club. So we're just disagreeing. That's what it's all about. Why is it that people cannot understand that we're going to have different opinions? What did I say to you back in October last year? Not you personally, but collectively. What did I say back in October last year when we were struggling with Ollie? I said, if we don't finish in the Champions League, Ronaldo's going to go. And everyone was like, no, he signed a 2-year contract. I said he won't stay if we're not in the Champions League. I called it. Some of you did as well. I thought it was bloody obvious what was going to happen. So, you know, Neville's saying if Ferguson was in charge, he would have sold him. No player is bigger. I don't agree with that. Absolute bollocks, Arjun. You know, Gary's talking absolute shite there. Ronaldo wanted to leave the year before he left. And Sir Alex persuaded him to stay. So it's nonsense. Sorry, Mark, but I'd swap our window with Chelsea's in a heartbeat, says Connor. And Chelsea's is not even finished yet. Chelsea's is still going. We'll talk about that in a minute. Omar says, Mark, does this mean that there is a huge lack of respect towards Ten Hag from the players? This is a serious problem. No, Omar, look, I'm not going to talk about what I get told anymore because people just don't seem to like the fact that, you know, United do leak a lot of information. But from what I understand, the players that left early on Sunday for the pre-season game didn't think it was going to be an issue. Obviously, Ten Hag didn't like it. Now, what I would say, and this is an opinion, what I would say has happened, these things used to happen before. They're not allowed to happen now. And that's it. Ten Hag's the boss and he's got new rules. And that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Discipline, whether it's Ronaldo, Rashford, Bruno or whoever, discipline needs to be brought into that football club. And I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo, if he wanted to stay, would have a problem with that discipline. And I don't think he left early because he wants to leave. I think he left early because other people left. So I don't think those set of players went, screw you, Ten Hag, I'm leaving. That's not what's happened. I think what's happened is those sort of things have happened in the past. The players didn't think it would be a problem. And obviously for Ten Hag, he wasn't happy about it. So it's a bit of a storm in a teacup. But what it does do is it sheds that Ten Hag is in charge. I don't think he's been undermined, and I don't think those players have done it on purpose to disrespect him. And as I understand it, he's had a word with them all. They've all been bollocked and they all understand it. So you move on. All you're hearing is Ronaldo left, but no hate for any other player, says Stuart. Well, look, I don't really care about that, Stuart. You know, I like Ronaldo, but I'm not going to get into this whole silly debate. We're playing a game on Sunday. We've got no midfielders. We've got no backup attackers. I'm fed up of arguing about whether you like Ronaldo or you don't like Ronaldo. Of course, other players left with Ronaldo. The picture got cropped out. But I think maybe Ronaldo was the only player that left who'd played in the first half. Whether that's relevant to you or not, I don't know. Other people left. But the reality is, they shouldn't have left. The players that we know left are Delo and Ronaldo, but there are others. I don't know those names. They've been told off. They won't do it again.